Okay, so welcome along to our Prepare for the Fair, Prepare for the Virtual Fair webinar this morning. Eilis Spence is my name. I'm an Employability Advisor with the Employability and Careers Department. And today's session is going to be looking at what you can expect from the fairs, which are coming up in the next week. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at our Ulster University virtual fairs. So we want to make you understand how you can register for the fair. And we also want you to discover how the virtual fair will run and how you can interact with the potential employer. Okay, so this includes one-to-one sessions, group sessions, and I'm going to show you how you can put together your schedule. And I'm going to have a checklist or a few tips for the day as well too. Virtual fair, some of you might have attended last year's virtual fairs, but there's still a fairly new thing that we're doing within Ulster, so we want to make sure that you're fully prepared in advance of the fair. Also, there's a few things that you can do in advance in order to kind of get you sorted for the fair. So that's really what we're going to be looking at this morning. So just to tell you a little bit about our Future Jobs and Opportunities Week. So the Future Jobs and Opportunities Week is starting on the 11th and it's running until the 14th of October. And within this, we have a lot of stuff happening. So I want to make sure that you know about all the things that are happening and the things that are relevant to you as well too, to make sure they're going to make the most out of your time at the Future Jobs and Opportunities Week. So we have our skills boosting program. Now that will be happening right across the week. So that will start on the Monday and run through on the Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday of the week. I'm going to tell you a bit more about the skills boosting program and some of the events that are happening as part of that. But it's really embedded throughout the full week, and that is all happening virtually as well too. Really, these are a suite of different programs and sessions that we're running to kind of complement the things that are happening with the fair and to help you with your overall employability as well too. So I'll tell you a bit about some of the sessions we're going to be running that over in a few slides time, and that will be right across the week. Then on Tuesday, the 12th of October, we have our graduate virtual fair. Now this is for all disciplines, okay? So there will be employers across a wide range. We have over 120 employers that are attending the graduate virtual fair. And this is for students of any discipline. And we will encourage students of all disciplines to come along. We don't, you know, there's not, it's not specifically for any particular cohorts. We want you to kind of see all the opportunities that are going to be available at the moment for graduates. And then we have two other fairs. So we have our placement and internship virtual fair, which is taking place on Wednesday, the 13th of October, which is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And this will be focusing on certain sectors. So we're focusing more on computing, engineering and construction within this particular fair. And then on Thursday, the 14th of October, also from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m, we have our other placement and internship virtual fair. And this is for all disciplines. So the one on Wednesday will be focusing particularly on computing, engineering, and construction. And then the one on Thursday will be for all other kind of disciplines. So we have invited along employers from different kinds, different sectors. So make sure to check those out and make sure to register for the ones that are relevant to you. We have a link there, so it's ulster.ac.uk/opportunities week with a little dash in the middle. That is our homepage for everything to do with Future Jobs and Opportunities Week. So you see a bit of a breakdown, lots of different things you can explore on that web page, and it will take you through to some of our live events which are being hosted on the Handshake platform. So I'm going to be talking a bit today about the Handshake platform, about, you know, hopefully for some of you guys you're in second year, some are in final year. You'll have some experience with the Handshake platform, but it's okay if you haven't. We're going to talk through about how to register for the fair, and also a little bit about our Handshake platform. I'm also running another session tomorrow at the same time, and within that session I'll be really focusing on the Handshake profile and how to make an impressive Handshake profile in preparation for the fair with that as well too. So if you want to find out a bit more, I'm going to talk a little bit today about it, but if you want to find out a bit more, I'm going to be doing a more in-depth session about that tomorrow as well. Okay, so we have our graduate recruitment fair, which is on the 12th of October. So that will be happening from 1 to register for that particular fair. We also then have the two placement and internship recruitment fairs. So one for computing, engineering and construction, on the 13th of October, which is the Wednesday, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then for all other disciplines, it will be the 14th of October from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a really short video, which will show you about, it doesn't work on this, so I'm just going to stop sharing for a moment. But this video will show you, oh, sorry, started it too early there. Okay, so just a little short, kind of 2-minute video, which shows you step by step how to register, and I'm going to go through this afterwards as well too. Okay, so don't worry, I'm going to go back over some of that, but I just wanted to show you that video. Let me just get the slides back up. I wanted to show you that video as it's a nice kind of summary of what you need to do in advance of the fair. Okay, so in a few slides, I'm going to tell you a bit about how to go on and register, and then we'll take you through how to actually pick your sessions. So how to pick your sessions, book them, and build up your schedule for the day. So just to give you a bit of an overview before I do that, is that there's a bit of a timeline that you need to do before the fair, okay? And the more that you do beforehand means that on the day you have a bit more time that you can just concentrate on your meetings with employers, your sessions with employers, and you don't need to worry too much about the technical side of things. And we want to make that as easy as we can for you and as straightforward. And luckily with the Handshake platform, it's lovely and nice and intuitive, and so it should be kind of nice and straightforward for you as well too. As you can see from that video, that was done through a phone. So if you're using your phone as your main kind of way of doing that, there is an app for Handshake as well too, which you can download. You can find it from the App Store or Google Play or Apple, whatever. Oh, well, that's the App Store, isn't it? Download that if you wish to do it that way, or you can do it from your desktop computer or your laptop as well too, which is just in the Join Handshake web page when you log in. So hopefully for most people, they will already have some previous experience of Handshake, but if not, that is no problem at all. You can go in and log in through start with our Future Jobs and Opportunities Week page. That will take you directly to the links directly to Handshake. Log in, register with your student email address and set up your profile, and I'm going to talk to you a bit about what's in your profile in a few slides time. But then also you'll be able to register for the fair. Okay, so as we can see here, you can register for the fair and pick your one. How to do that. But just before that, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Future Jobs and Opportunities Week. I'm going to give you the link as well for that. So we've got Future Jobs. Bear with me here. So we'll try to do the link with that in the chat box, so you can go and have a look at this as well too. Sorry about the delay there. Okay, and within that you'll find all the information about the fair, and that's you can click the direct links there that you can register for the fair. Well, again, I'll just share my screen. This is what the homepage looks like. Okay, so Future Jobs and Opportunities Week. If you just scroll through, there's lots of information here. So we've got dates of the different things within Future Jobs and Opportunities Week. We've got some of our partner organizations, so you can click into each of those and find out a bit more about them. Here we've got some information about our Skills Boosting program. Okay, so you can click on this and then that'll take you to all the different events that are happening as part of the Skills Boosting program. So you can see here, I'm going to pick out a few of these in a few slides time, just tell you a bit about those, but there's lots and lots of different things happening right across the week. Okay. Then we also have links to our graduate fair. So we can register here for the fair and that will take you straight into Handshake. Same with our placement and internship virtual fairs as well too. So if we click on here, we can click on the relevant days as well too. So Wednesday will be for your computing, engineering and construction disciplines, and then for any other disciplines or all disciplines will be Thursday the 14th of October. So you click on the right one, and then we've kind of got lots of other things. We've also got some video content here, so the likes of the video I just showed you, and then you can also look at our current jobs and placements and opportunities that are currently on Handshake. Some little tips there about Handshake as well too, and then some guides for the virtual fair. Okay, so lots and lots of information. It's a really good starting point. Excuse me, sorry, for anybody who is going to any of the fairs. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how to register for the fair. Let me get that up. So when you go into Handshake, this is what it's going to look like. Now, Handshake is personalized, so it might look slightly different for you when you click into yours, okay? But it will look something like this. So this is the homepage for Handshake. If you haven't already activated this, there'll be something that'll prompt you, and it'll prompt you to kind of get your profile up and running and different things like that. But you can see here, if you scroll through there, it's all personalized for me based on my different activity and different things that I've done. What we're going to do is we're going to go to events. And you can see all the events. You can see here that the graduate fair just comes up for me, or the placement and internship fair comes up at the top. Again, it might depend on the filters that you have on, but you can just click here for career fair, and there we go. You'll get our three fairs will come at the top and the dates. So for sake of argument, I'm just going to click onto the UU Virtual Graduate Fair, because that's the one I'm going to go for. For some of the guys in the session today, you're second year, so you'll be looking at the placement and internship fair. And if you're watching a recording, pick the relevant fair for you. So the graduate recruitment fair is for final years or those who have already graduated. So we can see that this is the homepage for this. You can find a little bit about it. We can read about what this is. So we've got default city career fair details. You can sit and read a bit about what's going to be happening at the fair. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to click on register, and that's as easy as a blue button at the top which just says register. You're registered. There we go, done. So it tells you what we need to do next, which is sign up for sessions. So in order to sign up for sessions, I need to know what sessions are going to be there. So what every employer has done who is attending the fair is they have listed sessions that you can attend. Now these sessions will either be a one-to-one session with a member of their staff, which lasts 10 minutes. Okay, so it's your chance to speak to a member of their staff and ask them questions, have a conversation with them. And we'll tell you a bit more now. I'm getting emails now to say I've registered. I'll tell you a bit more about that as we move through this session today. Or there are also group sessions. So these are information sessions that employers will run. They usually will only run one, if any, okay? So you can attend a mixture of one-to-one sessions and group sessions throughout the duration of this. So for this particular one, it's 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. So what you're going to do is, you're going to make up your schedule for the day, okay? So once you've registered, there's still a little bit of work that you need to do. You need to make up your schedule for the day. So in order to do that, I'm going to click here. So we've already registered, so that blue now has changed to grey. We've got the fair details, which is just about the fair in general. But what I'm going to do is just move across here and click on available sessions. Now there are some sessions available at the minute. I would really urge you to kind of have a look at this and register straight away because there are plenty of options at the minute and plenty of open options. As you get closer to the fair, these are going to get booked up, so you'll be limiting the amount that you will have the opportunity to speak to people. Please remember, please only book if you intend on attending. There are only a limited amount of sessions that any employer can run, as they are limited to 10 minutes. So please remember that if you're not going to attend, leave the space open for somebody else. But obviously, we encourage you to book in. So then what it does is we have the full list. If I scroll down, you can see here, full list of employers. Okay, so these are some of the employers attending this, and you can scroll right. If I go right to the bottom, you can see there's 5 pages worth of employers here at the minute. So you want to scroll maybe through and see what employers are there and see what they have to offer and find out a bit about them. So you can see then if I click on this one, or if I look at this one, it tells you a bit about who this employer is and what they do. Okay, then if I want to book a session, I either have the choice of a one-to-one with Baker McKenzie, Belfast, or I can go to a group session. So the individual sessions, there's 14 open sessions, or group sessions, we have 2 p.m. to 2:30. So there's a group session on there, which would last for 30 minutes, okay? So for this one, I think I am going to click on this. And there we can see Sarah Fowler, Senior Talent Acquisition Manager and Human Resources. She is going to be the representative for Baker McKenzie. And you can see lots of slots currently open right through. So I'm going to click on 1 p.m. and I'm going to confirm. And there we go, registered. And then you can see it ticks it away then. You can only do one. So that's fine. I'm going to go to that. And then I think I'm going to go to Moy Park because I'm interested in them. And I'm going to go to their group session. So again, it tells you a bit about it. I'm not going to read this now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go click. Tells you kind of who it's geared towards, what disciplines and stuff. Speakers, so I can see here we've got 4 speakers that are going to be talking at the session. We've got Beth Fitzpatrick, rotational placement student, Vicky Sensi, early careers coordinator. We've got the operations graduate and another graduate. So they've got a mixture of graduates, placement students, and somebody who works within their careers coordinator as well too. So yeah, I'm going to go for that one. Okay, so that's 2 that I've booked in for. So if I go back up to the top here, now I can see your schedule. So I click on that. There we go. We've got one-to-one. So starting in 8 days' time, one-to-one session with Sarah, and then just before I'm allowed, just around 1:10 on the what date is it? On the day of the session, this will turn blue, and I will join the video, and that's what will come up, and that's how I will have my meeting or my interaction with Sarah at Baker McKenzie. Okay, as you can see here, I have no sessions then for between 1 and 1:10 and between 1:20 and 2. So I'll probably fill it up with other sessions in the meantime to kind of make the most of my time. But then when it comes to 2 p.m, I've got in here my schedule, my session with Moy Park. And again, this will turn blue just at that time, so I'll be able to join the video then. Similar setup to what we have here, on BB Collaborate, although it will be done through Handshake. the chat box, and then somebody will talk and then be able to present and things like that. Okay, so that's how you start to create your session. It means then you just go back into that page on the day and you will be able to do that. Now, I'm going to cancel those, obviously, because I'm not going to take out the sessions from you guys as students, but that was just to demonstrate to you as well too. So here we go. Cancel reservation. Okay, and it's as simple as that. And I'm going to do this one as well too. Cancel reservation. So if you do need to cancel it for whatever reason, that's just it. So your sessions come up here on the left-hand pane as well too. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what you need to do for that side of it. Let me just get the slides back up. Is there any questions about that so far? Hopefully that has demonstrated on a nice kind of step-by-step basis what you need to do. And again, the same thing will apply for the other fairs. That was just a graduate recruitment fair that I went into for the purpose of that one. It will be the same for the internship, the 2 placement and internship fairs, which are taking place on the Tuesday, or the Wednesday and Thursday as well too. So if you're planning on attending those, it will be the same kind of setup, but it'll just be slightly different employers and different times. Okay, so there you go. We just have a screen grab. So access registration via events. Then you'll find the one that you're wanting to go to, which will be either the graduate recruitment fair or it will be the placement internship fairs. Click on the blue register button, and then you've got the 3 tabs along the top then. So the career fair details, clicking on available sessions and booking your sessions, and then once you've done that, you'll be able to see them within your schedule. And that's your own tailored schedule for you for the day. So a bit about our skills boosting program then. So we have 20 different workshops and webinars which are happening over Future Jobs and Opportunities Week, and you can register for each event either on the web page, which is the one that I provided in the which is the Future Jobs and Opportunities Week web page, or you can go directly and book onto them on Handshake. And just to give you a flavour of the types of things that we're running, so the sessions will be taking place, majority of the sessions will take place on Monday the 11th of October, which is running from 10 AM to 4 PM, and then also on Tuesday morning from 9:30 to 12:30. We also have a few sessions which are taking place before the fairs on Wednesday and Thursday as well too, but majority of the different sessions will be taking place on the Monday full day and then Tuesday morning. Just included a couple of kind of highlights of some of the types of sessions you might expect to see at that. So we have the Ultimate CV Makeover, and some of these sessions will be run by external people and they'll be run with staff within Employability and Careers as well too. We've got our Careers Cafe, which is with 2 different sessions running for the Careers Cafe. One is the Student Placement Inspiration Experiences, and the other one is Graduate Inspiration Experiences. And what we've done is we've invited back students who either had really successful placement or are currently out in placement, or who are previous students and have gone on to graduate roles, and telling us just really about their experience. Nice and informal, we use a chance for you to chat, kind of get a bit of Q&A going with some of the guests that we have coming along. So that's a really nice session there that I'd encourage you to go along to. And our Careers Cafe is going to be something that we continue to do right throughout the semester as well too. And there's a session on finding your perfect employer, supercharge your interview skills. So there's going to be a bit there about interview techniques, interview hacks, local and global internship and placement hacks. I have to use the same word, hacks again. Local and global internships. So if you're thinking about going global, if you're thinking about trying to find an internship locally, loads and loads of different tips and tricks for that as well too. How do you access opportunities on Handshake, job opportunities, on Handshake, and professional etiquette practice. Are you ready to meet the employer? So again, remember that you're going to be meeting your employers at these one-to-one sessions, and you're going to be meeting them at the group session. So you want to make sure that you are getting yourself across as professionally as you can, and making the best impression that you can as well too. That is just a selection of them. Like I said, there's over 20 programs happening across the days. So I picked a selection there for you to look at. You can browse the whole skills boosting program prior and book in your sessions too. They're all about 30 minutes long, so they're nice and kind of bite size, and lots of information there for you as well too. And is there any questions about that? Okay. And yeah, I'm just going to really briefly talk about your Handshake profile. Sorry, I think the slide's slightly cut off there at the bottom, but just a point there that I want to make as well too. When you do go into Handshake and you start booking either group sessions or one-to-one sessions, you will be prompted to make sure that your Handshake profile is public, okay? And there's two different types. There's community public and there's employer public. So you will need to do that. So you want to make sure, that's why we're talking about the Handshake profile at this session, is you want to make sure that your Handshake profile is kind of up to speed. And that's why I'm going to do a session on it tomorrow, even more details. But just to tell you a bit about what your Handshake profile is, basically it's a page on Handshake which is all about you, and the employers will be able to view it. Your peers should be able to view it as well too. And really it's about showcasing yourself, okay? Nearly like a bit of an online CV in some ways, okay? It's nice and straightforward, especially if you haven't set one up before too. It takes you through step by step in each section and what you need to include, and it prompts you as well too. So hopefully, you know, you'll be able to kind of fill out and build up your profile. But again, like I said, we're running the session tomorrow, and there's lots of videos on our YouTube channel as well too, which tells you a bit about that. But just as a real kind of quick overview, your Handshake profile showcases you, your education, skills, experiences, and career aspiration. Your profile, you can actually use your existing CV. So if you have a CV, you can input that, and it's quite clever in that it takes the sections of your CV and puts them in the relevant sections of your profile. If you are going down that route, just remember to double check your Handshake profile afterwards, because sometimes it doesn't always get it exactly right. So you want to make sure you review that yourself and correct any kind of mistakes, or correct anything that doesn't necessarily make sense when it translates over into the different sections. But here are the 7 sections. So they include a section called My Journey. So if you have something in your CV that's maybe like your personal profile or your career objective, it's kind of the same thing. They just call it My Journey. And it's basically you setting out what it is that you want to get from your Handshake profile, or what you're looking for an employer, or what you're kind of seeking out. So whether it's a placement, an internship, work experience, a graduate job, so you can detail that in your My Journey section. You also have your education, so your current degree, obviously. It doesn't let you go back too much further, I don't think. So it's really just about your current degree. Work and volunteer experience, organizations and extracurriculars. Any classes that you're doing, so your modules, you can include those, any key projects that you are working on or have worked on, and any core skills that you have as well too. You can also upload supporting documents such as your CV and cover letters, and that's cut off. What does that say at the bottom? Let me just check. Oh, it's just saying that there is actually blog articles on Handshake. So if you want to kind of go on and go on to their kind of their resources page, there's things within their blog which is all about that. Okay. We also have YouTube videos, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But just a reminder that, yeah, I've said it about 3 times already, there's another session, Prepare for the Fair, how to create an impressive profile. You can book this on Handshake, and we'll be looking at things like creating your Handshake profile, tips for engaging with employers on Handshake. So, you know, employers have their pages on Handshake as well too, and also kind of effectively marketing yourself through your Handshake profile as well too. And some demos on here as well too. If you go to our YouTube channel, it is just at Careers at Ulster, Careers at AT Ulster, just the same as our social media channels. There's lots of things with Handshake, and they're lovely, nice bite-sized videos, but they'll take you through step by step and show you the different sections within that too. So definitely check that out. This is again something you can be doing to prepare for the fair in advance. What I will say just really quickly is that employers do look at your Handshake profile. As you can see, I took you through there. I have a dummy profile that I use just for demonstrating. And for previous fairs that have happened, I've had lots of employers kind of messaging me, asking me to come along to their sessions. They obviously have looked at my page and thought that I would fit in, so I don't have the correct information about me in it. I have information maybe about if I was doing a session with, say, engineering students, I might have put in that my degree was engineering, so they might have thought that I fitted that profile. So they do look at your profile, and I can say that from my own experiences that they do message me and have done that. So definitely take heed of some of the support that's available, whether it's through the YouTube videos or the session that's running for developing your Handshake profile as well too. A couple of just top tips and kind of final things to remind you. Well, there's still a few slides here, but a couple of things just to kind of help you make the most out of your time at the virtual fair. You know, they're 10-minute sessions or group sessions. It's a short time to have an interaction with an employer, so you want to make sure that you're using that time as well as you can. So six top tips here. So we've got tip 1, spend time in your Handshake profile. Okay, you know, make sure you have the kind of basics done. Make sure that you're making the most out of your profile in order to make the most out of your meeting with the employer. This is you kind of setting your first impression with what could be your potential employer. So you know, having something as simple as your Handshake profile kind of done to a good standard is going to make all the difference. Okay. Tip 2, have a plan of action for the day. I showed you how to make up a schedule. So, you know, kind of set up your schedule, you know, maybe make a plan in advance. Think about what you're going to ask these different employers. You know, think about your schedule itself. Are you going from one 10-minute session straight into the next 10-minute session? You know, if that's the case, and you're going to have a couple of those in a row, do you need to do a bit of preparation before that? Or, you know, are you going to take a 10-minute break in between each one and, you know, give yourself time to kind of digest what the first person has said, and then give yourself a chance to come up with questions for the next person. And as you start to interact more with the employers, you know, you might get kind of a bit of inspiration about things to talk about. You might get some ideas, you know, from talking to one employer and say, well, actually, you know, they're able to offer that. Maybe that's something I could talk to this next employer about, you know, so kind of as well to some of the conversations that you do have with the employers. Tip 3, test your tech and have a neutral background. So test your technology where you can beforehand, okay? Things like having your Handshake all set up. Think about things like your camera. You'll be prompted to make sure that the Handshake is allowed to use your camera and your microphone. So get all that kind of set up before if you can. And, you know, we say about having a neutral background, you know, for most people, you probably will be at home. You might be, you know, you might be on campus accessing it, maybe in the library or in a quiet room. You know, doesn't necessarily mean, when I say neutral background, I don't mean like you have to have nothing in the background, it has to be plain. I just mean, you know, remember who you're going to be meeting. You're going to be meeting, again, your potential employer. So make sure there's nothing in the background that's going to maybe set the wrong tone or the wrong idea. You know, you don't maybe necessarily want like a messy bedroom or something in the background. You know, they maybe will understand that you're at home, but still you want to set the right impression. I mean, it was slightly different to maybe the fair. I've had things where people have been out and about in public and it's been really noisy. You know, people have been on buses and they've set up like video meetings with me, and it's really not ideal. You want to have a nice quiet time, you know, take the time and invest in this time. It'll be worth your while, okay? And sometimes I feel like this is really obvious, but, you know, when you kind of start to experience it, some maybe students or graduates don't always kind of do that. You know, it doesn't really set the right tone. So just bear that in mind. That's one of our tips. Tip 4, draft your professional pitch to employers. Okay, you're probably sitting there going, what is a professional pitch? What we mean by that is make sure you have something prepared to talk to employers about. Okay, be able to talk about yourself, because they're wanting to find out kind of about you and why you want to work for them. It's a two-way conversation, so you want to obviously find out about them too, but you want to have some things prepared. You know, what are you studying? Why are you looking for a placement, or why are you looking for a graduate job? Why this particular type of job? You know, some things about yourself, and then even, you know, then flipping it the other way and having questions prepared for them too. Tip 5, get in the right mindset for the careers fair. You know, so it's similar to what I was saying before, tip 3, and your background and everything. You know, you're going to be talking to employers, so, you know, make sure that you have something prepared. Make sure that you are kind of dressed, you know, it's, you know, although you may be sitting at home, you want to be dressed fairly smart, okay? Maybe not sitting in your dressing gown or jogging bottoms or something like that, okay? You know, you kind of want to set a nice tone, a nice professional, and you know, treat it for what it is. You know, you're talking to employers, and although maybe it's not incredibly formal the way maybe an interview would, you know, still if you treat it in a kind of, you know, more than casual, okay? You know, you want to kind of get in the right mindset. Tip 6, maintain a high standard of professional communication, okay? So think about how you're speaking to the employer. You know, think of your etiquette. There was one of those sessions there was called about professional etiquette, you know, the skills skills boosting session, sorry. So, you know, think about how you're communicating, and think about who it is you're talking to. You know, you could see there, it tells you the job titles of the people that you're talking to. For some of them, it might be that you're talking to a graduate who's, you know, was sitting in your shoes last year. For some others, it might be a placement student who, again, if you're seeking a placement, again, was maybe sitting in your shoes last year. For others, it could be that you're speaking to maybe one of the managers. You could be speaking to one of the HR people, and you'll kind of know when you start talking to somebody. You know, you might have build up a rapport with them quite quickly, but I would say err on the side of more formal. You know, think about professional communication. This is a professional kind of setting that we're putting you in. Okay. A couple of just kind of tips as well too. So you're required to engage with the employer, so make sure you do some research beforehand. So when attending the networking events, because that's what we kind of call them, that's what it is, it's about networking. It's key to know your professional pitch, okay? So again, we hear that term again, professional pitch. And what we mean by that is just thinking about how you're going to introduce yourself, okay? So they'll never have met you before, you know, you'll have to introduce yourself as you meet them, and think about what you're going to say to them as you approach them, you know, albeit virtually. In the one-to-one sessions, we strongly advise you book the sessions in advance. So there might be some sessions available on the day, but you're really kind of cutting your nose up to spite your face if you leave it till then. You know, go and check on it now after this session, book in some of your sessions, and then as it gets closer to it, you know, some more sessions might be added from different employers. So make sure that you you know, you keep on top of it. So we strongly advise you book sessions in advance. Ensure your camera is on and think about how you're going to introduce yourself. You can view the employer stand beforehand, so you can read a bit about the employer. So we call it a stand, but it's going to be their kind of page within profile. They'll have some roles on there. Most of the employers should have their roles on there. So go and have a look at them and think about which ones am I going to apply for, and what questions can I ask them about this particular role. You know, what are they looking for? What would, you know, use the time with the employer as cleverly as you can, and also prepare how you'll introduce yourself and make a lasting impression. Okay, so a couple of things. Introduce yourself, what you're studying, what year you're in, prepare and ask questions about the company, so do some prior research too. Ask questions about their roles, you know, show an interest, particularly if they are graduates, if they're placement students. Find out what makes the company different to others. Find out about the recruitment process. I mean, it just makes complete sense to do that. You know, that's a really good opportunity to find out what they can do. For most people, it might be, you know, apply for a CV and attend an interview. For other employers, there might be a bit more to the recruitment process. So it could be things like, you know, there could be an assessment day, it could be virtual, it could be in person, there might be activities that you'll do as part of that. So they might give you a bit of an insight into what that might be and help you prepare and understand what's expected of you, and you know, be able to kind of get ahead of the game, I suppose. Also, you know, kind of find out what it is, what are they looking for in their ideal candidates as well too. So, and you know, keep some notes as well too. You know, it's, especially if you're going to several employers, you know, keep a few notes, and then you might want to refer back to them when you're applying for the roles. And find out what kind of thing will make your application stand out and be successful. Okay, so make sure a bit of a checklist here. So a couple of checklists. Complete your handshake and profile in full, and make sure you make it visible. Okay, and like I said, you'll be prompted to do that before you book into any of your sessions. Explore the jobs and save any ones that you like. So you can save any jobs that you like if you just click the little ribbon button beside it. See who's hiring and follow. You can also follow employers as well too. Register for the virtual fair. Attend the preparation for a fair webinar when you've already done one of those. There's another 2 running this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Finalise your CV to meet early closing dates. Find out which employers are attending. Research the employers you'll meet. And remember, you don't have to wait in line. You're scheduling your sessions beforehand. So with employers you're interested in, and make sure you follow that employer too. That way you'll be alerted when they add new jobs and events to Handshake. If you don't do this already, it's a really good way to kind of find out what's happening and find out about events. If you could follow employers on Handshake. So if you click on any of the employers that are attending, it'll take you to their page, and there'll be a button, just like the register button, but it'll be a little blue button that says follow. And that way you'll get notifications when they add jobs that are maybe relevant to you based on your profile. And also if they're maybe doing any events, whether it's virtual or in person. So it's a no-brainer if there's kind of certain employers that you're interested in. Remember to dress professionally. Again, you don't need to necessarily be suited and booted, but dress kind of smart, casual at least. Find a quiet spot in a neutral background. The quiet part is really that's important as well too. Arrive on time for your sessions and complete the session. Make eye contact and practice active listening. So yeah, again, remember you're going to be kind of virtually talking to somebody one-to-one. So remember that it's a two-way conversation. So listen to what they say, but also have things to prepare for them as well too. And ask the questions and make the most of your time with the employer. Okay, so a couple of things. You need to have a good profile. You can make your CV or profile public. Employers can message students and follow them, and make sure you attend the sessions. So you can see there's a wee screen grab there. You can see it's just like Zoom. There's also a chat box just on the side too. So if you are having kind of connectivity issues, you can do it by that, but talk via video, okay? On the day, group meetings last 20 minutes. There'll be different representatives. And then we have our one-to-one meetings, which last 10 minutes. And then employers can message all students who attend a virtual session as well too. Okay, so last kind of thing, next steps, activate your Handshake account, start completing your profile if you haven't done so already. Number 2, register to attend whichever virtual fair is relevant to you and attend some of our skills boosting sessions. So pick out which ones you want to go to and book in. And again, their skills boosting sessions are all virtual. Number 3, explore virtual plans and begin booking some slots to schedule your day. And remember to kind of keep an eye on those. If there's none on particular employers that you're looking to meet with at the minute, they will be adding them closer to the time as well too. And remember our webinars on Tuesday, Wednesday, there. And if you need to, you can book them with any of our employability advisors, and you can do that on Handshake as well too. There'll be a part for appointments. But that's it for me for now. I'll hang about if there's any questions. But thank you so much. Best of luck with the fair. Make sure to register and get everything ready. And yeah, thank you very much for attending today's session.